Mr. Cannabis.
There are many types and combinations of meters available for monitoring your pH, electrical conductivity, total dissolved salts, temperature, humidity, and dissolved oxygen. The choice of meters depends on the system, the grower's knowledge, and of course, the price range. An EC or TDS meter is an instrument used to measure the amount of dissolved salts or nutrients within a solution. The meter works by passing a small electric charge through the solution and measuring the resistance to that current. The more dissolved salts or nutrients present within the solution, the higher the EC, and thus the lower the resistance. The EC typically measures the conductivity of units of microohms per centimeter, milliohms per centimeter, microsiemens per centimeter, and millisiemens per centimeter, while TDS meters measure the concentration of dissolved solids in milligrams per liter, or ppm. Some TDS meters may also have the option to display the conductivity in millisiemens per centimeter. While water does conduct electricity, it's the dissolved minerals or ions in the water that conduct the electricity. This is why pure water, such as reverse osmosis or distilled, is a poor conductor of electricity. Hanna and Blue Lab are the top brands for EC TDS meters. A pH meter is an instrument used to measure the acidity or base of a solution. The meter works by measuring the concentration of hydrogen ions within a solution, which of course is indicative of its pH. The meter consists of a pH probe, which is a small electrode placed in the solution being tested, and then a meter that displays the pH value. The measuring electrode is sensitive to hydrogen ions and generates a small electrical current when it comes in contact with the solution. The reference electrode, which is usually filled with a solution of known pH, then provides a stable reference point for the measurement. pH meters must be consistently calibrated by a buffer solution of known pH to ensure accurate readings. In this way, pH meters can be very finicky and sometimes fragile, and they're only really needed for complex systems. Otherwise, pH strips and drops are good enough and much cheaper, which is what I use. Dissolved oxygen meters are devices that can use either electrochemical, polarizographic, amperometric, galvanic, and optical sensors to measure dissolved oxygen in a water sample. Dissolved oxygen is a critical parameter for aquatic ecosystems and is important for monitoring water quality in aquaculture, water waste management, and other applications such as growing. Meters typically use a probe that contains an electrode and a membrane which is exposed to the liquid being measured. The probe is connected to the meter that displays the DO concentration units in milligrams per liter or ppm. However, these meters can be highly expensive, and it's often more important just to focus on temperature of your solution as long as you're supplying enough aeration. Basic thermohygrometers are relatively inexpensive and easy to use, and nowadays often come with probes that hang conveniently at your canopy line. It's imperative that you have at least some kind of monitoring system in your growing environment. Then we have controllers that not only monitor your environment, but help you actively control it. Simple models, like the one I have, are relatively cheap nowadays and easy to use. More complex controllers are much more expensive, but can give you great control if you want to wire all your systems into it. I've always wanted to have one of these with all the bells and whistles, but I've never had a personal grow big enough to warrant such a purchase. Light meters are devices that measure the intensity of light in a given area. They're commonly used in indoor gardening to ensure that plants receive the optimal amount of light. Light meters typically measure units in lux or foot candles, which are the units of illuminance that represent the amount of light falling on a surface. Some also measure other parameters, such as PAR, which of course is the range of light waves that plants use for photosynthesis. Light meters can help growers determine the appropriate placement and intensity of grow lights, as well as track changes in the light levels of the bulb over time.